In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at my updated draft ahead of match day 1 in Club World Cup Fantasy and also discussing my new and improved chip strategy for the tournament. Now, before we dive into today's video, of course, if you do enjoy the Club World Cup content that you see on the channel, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe to let me know to keep continuing. And of course, if you've got any dilemmas about your team selection heading into the first match day of this tournament, get them in the comments section and we'll try and help as many of you out as possible. Taking a look then at the groups, obviously, I'm going to do a betting preview for this one, taking a look at all the odds, which teams are fancied, obviously looking at each individual game as well. That I'm going to post over on my Twitter, so make sure you are following me for that one at FPLTom_. I'll leave a link in the description, but basically having a look at the numbers so far, some of the teams I really want to target are going to be teams like Auckland City. I think they are the worst tournament in the team in the tournament, looking from the betting data perspective. So I'm obviously going to be targeting Bayern Munich players heading into this game week. Benfica in match day 2 as well. Obviously Pavlidis, who we covered in the hidden gem section, also going to be one that I am going to be looking to target. Chelsea's group from the betting perspective is looking really easy, so I definitely think, I want to cover off some of their players. Same with Dortmund as well from that perspective. City and Juve, obviously when they play each other, that's going to be a different scenario, but with the chip strategy that we have got, we're actually going to avoid that fixture in match day 3 and avoid that one completely. So targeting their fixtures against Allen, and of course Casablanca is going to be the play there. And Real Madrid, once they get that first game out of the way, pretty much they probably should be battering every single team within their group as well. So the big ones for me and the big takeaways is definitely be looking to target Auckland City. They are by far a mile the worst team in this tournament, and I think there could be some mega scores against them. Currently heading into the betting markets with that Bayern Munich game, you can get a price of 91-1 for Auckland City to go and just win that game. That's not even get out the group or win the tournament. 91-1 just to win a single football match. I think it's 23-1 just for a draw with some bookmakers as well. So that to me suggests that they are going to be a team we really need to be targeting. And the teams like Bayern, Benfica, who've been very prolific this season, should have an absolute field day against this opposition. So they're the real one I would be looking to target this tournament, and especially in match day 1. Then obviously let's talk about chips, and if this is obviously your first video you're watching on the channel, we covered this within my first draft, but let's go through the boosters that are available to you. There is a mystery booster that will become available after the group stage is finished. Obviously we don't know what that is yet, so we can't really talk about it or plan for it as of yet, but these are the 3 that are at our disposal heading into the group stages. The wildcard, obviously you can't use it this week because you've already got unlimited transfers, and you can't use it in the first game week after the group stage is finished again because you've got unlimited transfers. Pretty much if you've ever played any fantasy game, you probably are familiar with what a wildcard offers. It allows you to make unlimited transfers for that round, and of course that is the team going forward that you will have. The 12th man, I actually got this a little bit wrong. I was a little bit confused about what it actually was, but now I have a better understanding. It basically means that you get to pick a player that is not already within your existing 15-man squad, and then that player will of course contribute to the points. You can't, however, substitute them in and out. You can't obviously captain them either. So once you've picked them and they've played their game, that is it. They are locked in. There is no other way around it. But yeah, definitely a really useful tool. Like I said, probably going to be using it across the group stages. Max Captain, this was in EFL Fantasy if you played this year, and I really like this as a chip. Basically, it will allow you to get double the points from whichever player scores the most in your team. So that means you don't have to worry about captaincy across the multiple days within kind of a match day. You activate that chip, and whoever is the highest scoring player within your team will end up with the captaincy armband. So a pretty nice chip. Obviously, there's big debates on when to play this chip, and let's talk through mine and potentially other strategies you could go for. But in terms of my strategy, we'll start off first with the Max Captain, and we're going to play it actually in match day 2 rather than match day 1. There are some absolutely amazing one-sided fixtures heading into this game week, but in particular on the 20th there are 3 teams with absolutely unbelievable matchups that I fully want to take advantage of, and I think the max captain across that will then give me the coverage to do that. I think on the 20th you've got PSG with a pretty decent fixture against, I think, Botafogo. You've got Chelsea, they've got a great game, and you've also got Benfica against Auckland. And obviously, as I outlined in the last section, Auckland are the worst team in this tournament, and when they're getting, odds of 91 to 1 just to win a singular game, definitely need to be a team we're looking to target. So I think that is going to be the ideal week to play it. You've got so many great one-sided fixtures that you could have so many great captaincy options, and in particular on one day where there are 3 good captaincy options, at least I am going to be able to cover myself off with this chip and hope that I've got the right player that does score big, maybe on the 20th or another day with obviously lots of one-sided fixtures, and at least cover myself up. So I think max captain is the week to play it. Another route you could go for is maybe playing it in the semi-finals or the final. Obviously there's a lot less kind of bigger player pool to pick from, so trying to find that right captain may be a little bit difficult, and we always see in finals it is usually rogue players that do kind of pop up with the winning goals, or maybe don't quite hit the certain metrics that we're usually looking for in terms of fantasy players, especially in terms of captaincy picks as well. The only problem I do have with that one is I just don't think there's as much upside. Yes, you are probably going to end up with the right captain for that game week, but I think there's going to be bigger swings and bigger score lines for teams and for players earlier on in the group stage, when things of course are a lot more up in the air, and there's obviously teams as well that, have kind of easier opponents, and obviously the betting markets suggesting that as well. In terms of my match day 1 strategy, I am going to play the 12th man. Again, after looking at the betting odds, I'm fully going to be targeting Bayern versus Auckland and expected goals. So using that 12th man, I'm going to go and get myself an extra Bayern asset. If you watch my first draft, I only had the 1 Bayern asset. Heading into this one, we might potentially have all 3 lined up for this game week. So yeah, that is my chip strategy. That is my current plans. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments section below. Let me know what your chip strategy is as well heading into this tournament, and let's go and dive into my updated draft for match day 1. Okay, so let's dive into the match day 1 updated draft then. Starting off first with our goalkeeper picks, it is going to be Martian and Armani. Both of these guys are coming in at ridiculously low price points. I think Martian is at 4.1 and Armani at 4 million. The big problem that I did have with this game early doors was some of the goalkeeper pricing. I was struggling to find a regular playing goalkeeper that obviously was coming in at a decent price point. We were looking at Perrin, with him being at 4.9 million in the first draft, but what I've found here is 2 playing goalkeepers who are coming in, like I said, at dirt cheap. Now, of course, Boca don't have the most ideal fixtures, as you can see on screen. Benfica and Bayern, not ideal, especially with our chip strategy looking to wildcard in game week 3, but I still think he's pretty much going to be a player I probably would have back on the wildcard anyway with the Auckland City fixture. But at the end of the day, goalkeepers are one of those positions where it's such low upside to them scoring. They don't usually score prolifically, and obviously when they do, it's probably between 6 to maybe 8 points. So I'm not too arsed that I've got kind of 2 cheapish goalkeepers. Thankfully though, Armani's probably going to be the one that will probably see most of the games anyway, because they've got Red Diamonds, Monterrey, and then it's not till their final game where they've got Inter in that one. But at 4 million, I don't really think you can go wrong with these 2 as a goalkeeper selection, to be honest. At 4 and 4.1 million, it allows you to do a lot of cool stuff with your attack, which obviously have bigger upside in my personal opinion. Let's head on then into the defense. It is going to be Akimi. We all know what he's capable of, an absolute beast in UCL fantasy this season. 47 games for him, 8 goals, 12 assists. The only problem that I do have is, of course, it isn't the most ideal fixture with Atletico Madrid, but I think with his high ownership, he's still going to be a player I want to have because he can do some absolute damage. Match day 2 and match day 3 as well are going to be the ideal fixtures for him. The only problem that might potentially hamper him, and of course Dumfries on the bench as well, is the Champions League final this week, and whether or not those players are going to be, maybe given a couple weeks off to potentially recover and maybe miss out on the first game of the Club World Cup. But we're obviously going to have to wait and see on that one. Next up is going to be Mora. Obviously, I covered him in the Hidden Gems. If you haven't watched that video and you're looking for some cheap or maybe just some undervalued assets, definitely go and check out that video already up and on the channel. He's been the starting left-back for Porto this season with 13 goal involvements in 31 games. And the main appeal of him is, of course, the price point that he's coming in at 4.1 million. If you take a look at the fixtures as well, Palmeiras, Inter Milan, Al Ahly, it's a pretty mixed group, to be honest. I know Porto haven't been exceptional this year within their league, but still, you probably could see them maybe coming away with 2 to 3 wins here, depending on how they really get on and obviously how the home side in Inter Miami turn up, and of course the Brazilians as well. But overall, I still think he could be a really good pick, and if you are struggling with your budgets, I would highly recommend looking at the Porto squad. There are some absolutely amazing budget-friendly options within there. Let's move on then to our next defender. It is going to be Ryerson, who is playing within the wing-back position for Dortmund at the moment. 2 goals, 3 assists for him in 29 games for Dortmund this season. Again, they've probably got one of the most favourable groups in my personal opinion. Looking across their fixtures, as you can see on screen right now, Fluminense, Sundowns and Ulsan HD. It's just a great set of fixtures, a great group, and you feel like Dortmund probably should be coming away with 3 wins and hopefully 3 clean sheets as well. That's definitely how the bookmakers see it so far as well. Favourites to progress out of that group by a clear margin as well. Denzel Dumfries starts off our bench. Obviously, he'll end up coming in when obviously the other players have played if they haven't done their job. 11 goals, 5 assists, UCL heroics. Again, though, probably same situation as Hakimi. There might be some rotation. Kelly slides into the sides as well, a new upgrade from the last draft that we did. The reason that I've selected him, I wanted a Juve defender. Looking at that group, and obviously with our strategy of wildcard in matchday 3, we're going to avoid the Manchester City game. So it's 2 pretty easy fixtures where you do imagine when we start popping open the betting data kind of numbers, it's going to be very, very favourable for Manchester City with those clean sheet projections. So I really like him as an option. He's seen really good minutes across the final kind of 12 game weeks of the season. So at 4.7 million, why not have him in the side? Let's move on then. Let's start taking ourselves into the midfield. Starting off first with Musiala, 14 goal involvements in 25 games, 0.77 expected goal involvement for him this season. The big problem though is, of course, going to be whether or not he will be fit and available for this tournament. If he's not, we may potentially look at Gnabry. He is going to miss out on the Nations League games. This was a news article that I was reading yesterday suggesting that he's going to miss out on them and focus on being fully fit for the Club World Cup and getting back within the Bayern side as well. Obviously, I alluded to it in the last section as well. Auckland are one of the worst sides. You can get yourself odds of 91 to 1 to, of course, go and bet on these two to pick up a win this week. So I'm really going to say it. Bayern probably should be putting these to the slaughter. They already did that earlier this season as well with Zagreb in the Champions League in a 9-2 victory. Kane got 4 goals, Musiala got 2 assists, and I believe Elise got himself 2 goals as well. It was pretty fruitful across the board for the Bayern boys as well. I think they could have an absolute field day. I've not seen odds that high ever in a football game in a long, long time, to be honest. So, yeah, definitely would be looking to target that. As you can see, Elise is going to be our 12th man for this week. 27 goal involvements in 34 games. 0.85 expected goal involvement as well per 90 is absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, like I said, with the positive fixture, with obviously, you know, the chip hit active here, it gives us that ability to obviously switch off for the more difficult game in match day 2, but get the full attack pretty much covered for a great fixture where you feel Bayern very easily could get themselves 5+ goals within this opening match day. Cole Palmer, obviously, it's been a bit of a disappointing season, but lit the world alight last night in the Conference League final with 2 absolutely wonderful assists. Still, though, 24 goal involvements this season. And I just watched that Betis game and watched the room that he was given in that fixture, and I was just thinking to myself, if these other teams start giving him this room in this tournament, my oh my, he could be an absolute underrated gem. Only around 18% owned, so could have massive swings as well. On penalties, very much a key kind of component of their creative assets as well towards the side. Next up is going to be Di Aracenta. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Again, it's a great opening fixture for Flamengo. for me personally against the Tunisian side, the Tunisian champions. Again, the bookmakers are suggesting a heavy win towards Flamingo for that one. The main reason that I like him, he comes in at 6.2 million on penalties, free kicks, corners, which is obviously massive for this game considering the chances created. You know I absolutely love penalty takers as well. But so far, he started the season on fire. 11 goal involvements in 8 games. Wow, wow, wow. He has absolutely started the season on fire. Next up is going to be Masatuno. Again, apologies if I've absolutely butchered this one. He's coming in at a bargain bottom 4.3 million. Again, another absolutely fantastic enabler that we covered in the Hidden Gems video as well. 8 goal involvements in 12 games. Real Madrid are, of course, looking at him. And as we saw with Armani, the fixtures coming up for River Plate are pretty decent, especially considering his low price point. Next up is going to be one of the most popular assets in the game. And I never expected to say that for a player that I'd never heard of before, obviously starting to take a look at this the kind of roster of players to select from. It is going to be Iman Ashur. Again, please correct me if I'm mistaken on that one. He plays for the Egyptian side, Al Ali. 19 attacking returns in 22 games so far this season with 0.89 expected goal involvement per 90. It's absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, a lot of Egyptian kind of fans have already hopped on the game, probably explaining his elevated ownership at 29. But that group is really difficult to predict. And with us, of course, wildcarding in match day 3, probably can escape the more difficult fixture. It's not been a great start to the season for Inter Miami. I'm hearing a lot of things from American fans suggesting that they're going to have a pretty ropey tournament across the board. But still, these guys, I don't know what to make of them, to be honest. I think maybe they're being a little bit overhyped by potentially some of the African community on Twitter. But it's still 29% if he does go off in that first game and obviously kind of carries his league form into this tournament. He could be a real gem, to be honest. You know, a lot of the European owners, and maybe if you are watching this from Europe, a lot of your mates within your mini leagues as well probably aren't going to have in their team for this fixture. Let's move on then and finish up with our 3 strikers. Garassi, for me, probably could be a contender for the Golden Boot for this tournament, looking at that group. Fluminense, Sundowns, and then the final fixture as well. If he plays all of those 3 games, I think he could be an absolute gem. 19 attacking returns in 22 games. An amazing Champions League campaign as well this season. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. And Mbappe features on the bench for us here. Again, 58% owned. It's a pretty easy group once probably they get past Al Hilal, their hardest fixture of the group. Despite not winning any silverware this year, 41 goals, 5 assists, absolutely unbelievable stuff. And of course on penalties, so it massively puts him ahead of Vinny Jr. in my opinion. Then finishing up, it is going to be the best captain for this whole match day. Of course, you can swap your captains round, but match day 1, Harry Kane is going to be the best one for me, in my personal opinion, considering the betting odds we've obviously spoke about with Musiala and Elise, given the attacking prowess that Bayern have also got in their locker as well. Obviously, an absolutely fantastic season for him. 38 goals, 11 assists. Wow. I think Kane is, again, going to be one of those players that I probably would mark as essential for match day 1. In terms of my transfers then, looking forward to match day 2, obviously we're going to wildcard in match day 3. My early thoughts are we're going to take Harry Kane out. We will probably move to Pavlidis. And then I think my other options are a little bit open at them, to be honest, in terms of the other ones. Kind of see where other midfielders lie. Obviously, it's not an easy fixture for D. I'm just going to call him D. It's not an easy fixture for him with Chelsea in match day 2, so he'll probably be an asset we look to move on. Musiala against Boca, or maybe potentially Elise in that slot against Boca. Again, not the most ideal position to be in. So again, we might potentially move away from one of these two, and that could be our transfers out for that week. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing, and let me know how you're getting on with your draft so far. But thank you very much for watching, and good luck in match day 1.